Sworn in again, and this marks my 30th year in public service right now. I started when I was 10. So I'm a little nostalgic these days, I have to admit. And I was thinking about the message we have for Dr. King here at this celebration. You know, everyone likes to focus on different things. And I saw it, living the dream, and it starts with me. I know what an enormous responsibility it was when I first got elected 4 years ago. I know the faith that many of you put in me. Many of you heard Gregory Meeks, you heard people like Danique Miller, you heard individuals in Congress and Assembly and your civic leaders and people like Dr. Phelps who said to you, have a little faith in her. She'll be okay for us. After 28 years of having the only district attorney in 28 years, she will do with the job what she can do for equity and fairness. And I know it starts with me. I know that the district attorney's office has to prosecute those that would bring guns into our borough and that would murder on the streets. That's why we have a 40% decline of murders in Queens County and 11% citywide. That's why in citywide we have 25% lowering of shootings and 37% lower here in Queens County. I know my responsibility, though, not only prosecuting drivers of crime, but all these young people that are here today, we have to make sure they never end up in our criminal justice system to begin with. And that takes education, and that takes people who care deeply, and that takes starting with me, with individuals in our community like Reverend Kathleen Williams, who is here today, and a man named Pierre, whose sole responsibility for me is the young people. That's all he does, all day, is make sure young people never end up in the criminal justice system. It means keeping fentanyl out of our borough when 75% of our overdoses in Queens County is because of fentanyl, while still making sure we have drug rehab and courts to take care of those that are addicted. It means making sure our conviction integrity unit, which has vacated 102 convictions since I've been the district attorney, 102 convictions of people who I did not have faith in those convictions. And that's part of what I do every day too. By the way, a majority of those convictions were based on cops who later on were convicted of prejudice, who later on were convicted of falsification of documents, who later on were convicted of lying on the stand. And I vacated those convictions. So today's really about Dr. Martin Luther King. And I went to an event in